are unable to join us. Okay. Good afternoon. Today is the second regular session, Friday, October 1st, 2021, approximately 2:13 p.m. here in the Senate chamber. At this time, I'd like to request everyone to please stand for a moment of silence. And while we do this, I ask everyone to please remember the victims of all cancer victims, as today marks the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. At this time, the chair recognizes the clerk to please call the roll.
Senator Cruz?
There.
Senator De Jong Guerrero?
Present.
Senator Hopper?
Present.
Mr. President?
Gaigi.
Senator King Neighbors?
Present.
Senator Mangonia? Senator Kirugua? Senator Sablan?
Gaigi.
Senator Santos? Here. Mr. President, all 9 members are present.
With 9 members present, we have the quorum to proceed with our session today. Let the record reflect that Senator Santos is appearing in this session via Zoom and as approved by our Senate rules. So with that, I move to item B, public comment. And this is the portion of our session where we allow members of the public to provide testimony before the Senate on any of the items in today's order of business, rather. So anybody in the gallery that would like to offer a testimony on any of the items that is on our agenda for today's session, please welcome. And if you are coming up, state your name for the record. Let the record reflect that there's no one that would like to provide public comment. And before I proceed to item C, I also want to recognize the Executive Director for Commonwealth Election Commission, Ms. Kayla Igito, the Sattler, Ms. Ami Shai, and I'm not sure what the young lady's name, I'm not sure if you're from the Sattler, but anyway, welcome. And to all the staff. Reading and approval of the journal. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under item C, reading and approval of the journal, we have one journal, and that is Senate Journal 22-10. First special within the second regular session dated 8/12/2021. Mr. President and members, I move for its adoption.
A motion for the adoption of Senate Journal 22-10 as read out by the floor leader, and it's been seconded. Discussion. Ready? All those in favor of the motion for the adoption of Senate Journal 22-10, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Senate Journal 22-10 is adopted. Item B, messages from the governor. Clerk.
Mr. President, we have 12 on our agenda, 22-104 and 115.
Any comments from the members? Okay. Communications from the judiciary.
None, Mr. President.
Communications from the heads of executive department.
None.
Communications from the house.
We have one, Mr. President, 22-58, reporting to the Senate that they have adopted CCR 22-1 on House Bill 22-74, the FY22 budget.
Any comments from the members? I recognize Senator Mongolia.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is not really directly related to the budget, but I would like to make the indulgence, maybe 2 or 3 minutes statement pertaining to the cinema's revenue situation, which I believe would affect us in the future, and more particularly about IPI. I'm concerned, Mr. President, because in today's paper, we read headlines about uh, um, the casino commission's enforcement of the violations there, and the executive director have actually asked for the revocation of the IPI's license. And this concerns us greatly because it would mean that next year and future years, we're gonna really struggle with the minimum annual payment for the retirement fund. And we all know that that was the main intent of Public Law 18-56 when establishing a casino industry. Uh, so that we can take care of the Northern Marianas Retirement Fund as well as other financial difficulties that we have. And so I know that we wrote a letter to the president about possibly either creating a special committee or the appropriate committee to look at a couple of bills that I believe Senator Yudif and I introduced, which is namely Senate Bill 22-23, in authorizing the Casino Dollar Commission to issue a second casino license, as well as the Senate Joint Resolution 22-01, and this was introduced, I believe, since way back March and April. And I'm just respectfully asking this body to maybe come up with a position paper here, because in the same headline, in another headline today, the IPI acting CEO even indicated that they're okay with revocating with removing the exclusivity issue, but don't revoke their license. And they even were quoted as saying that they continue to discuss alternative solutions with the administration and the legislature. So I don't know what discussions have taken place with the legislature, but that's the more reason why I think we should maybe call an oversight or public hearing on the bills and your comments from the community as to how we can best address the IPI and the casino industry here in the CDMI. In our letter to you, Mr. President, some of the issues that we would like IPI and the Casino Commission to discuss with us are concerns about the debts owed, out there, the DPAC fee, CCC annual regulatory fee, community benefit fund, annual casino license fee. Now they're the second year non-payment and so forth. And what is the plan of action and all the labor enforcement issues. But mainly also we wanted to talk about culture of compliance, about establishing a strong culture of compliance by IPI. I believe this will go a long way in helping them having an increased investor and public confidence and avoiding potential regulatory violations and fines. So these, of course, the exclusivity provision should be discussed. So I know that in the budget that we passed, we had a provision that talks about getting a study done, and I did comment about that particular provision because it is not very clear as to its specific intent. But if it's going to cover IPI, then we should make that clear in, I guess, the RFP of that proposal. But I just want to ask if maybe a follow up on our request, if maybe either the Fiscal Affairs Committee or R&D or set up again the committee that we had last time on gaming, so that we can be ahead of the 8-0 and be ready. I'm just concerned about the retirement fund. Again, that's 40 million a year, and we're fortunate this year with the ARPA money to subsidize the government operations all over across the board. But in the coming years, we're gonna be back again to where we are, and I hope not to see the day when we have to cut 25% from the retirees. Jesus Monsi, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Malloy. Any other member? Senator Edith Younger?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just in line with what Senator Cole had mentioned, this is a great concern because we all know that there is a lot of creditors out there that are filing for their debts to be collected. And as we speak today, we also know that the CNMI government has a lien against the casino. And to date, we have yet to see where do we stand with respect to how are we going to collect that particular lien and all the other debts that are due to the Commonwealth. The CNMI retirees, pursuant to our Constitution, the specific language speaks about keeping it whole, which is the annuitant's income. We understand that we went through the federal proceedings of the receivership, where 75% is the only responsibility in the law of the settlement for the government to pay up for the annuitant's retirement income. And now they are sourcing the 25%, which I spoke about in our last session, that they're using the FEMA loan money to pay for the 25% for the retiree's annuity. We need to be concerned, and our bill and our resolution and letters that we have sent to your desk, I would hope that this body would take a look at that and look into the future of what are we going to do with respect to how are we going to resolve the uncollectibles that is due to the Commonwealth that are going to be affecting our people's lives. In our last sessions, I spoke about the death benefits and many other areas of concern regarding revenues and funding. And Mr. President, I think moving forward, ARPA is not going to be here forever, so we need to hunker down and get serious with business and take a look in terms of our financial status and situation. I know we all want some kind of revenue generating activities for our economy, but we can't turn a blind eye and pretend like our receivables are not there. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Younger. Any other member? Thank you.
President.
Senator Chairman Hochul.
Just for information and purpose to the members, we received the transmittal communication from the governor regarding the FY22 budget.
I will be presenting it formally to the clerk to include in our order.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, with nothing further, communications from the Senate.
Mr. President, we have 8 on our agenda, 22 to 61 to 68.
Any comments from the members? Communications from the Washington delegate.
None.
Unfinished business.
None.
Pre-filed bills, initiatives, the local bills, and resolution. And at this time, I recognize the sponsor of the bill or the resolution, Senator Francisco Q. Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is to officially introduce Senate Resolution number 22-11 to recognize and Command Sergeant Major Dolores Pangilinan Kyoshi for distinguished years of periodic service and sacrifice for our country as a member of the United States Army. And I welcome the members of the Senate to join me introduce this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Cruz. This time the chair recognizes Floor Leader Blanc.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to formally introduce Senate Bill number 22-63 to amend for CMC subsection 8403 to change the Public Utilities Commissioner's qualifications and for other purposes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. When moving on to item L, introduction of bills, initiative, local bills and resolutions. Anyone? Reports of standing committees. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under item M, reports of standing committees, we have standing committee report number 22-53 from your committee on executive appointments and government investigations, reporting on the appointment of Ms. Proserpina T. Magovnia to serve as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission representing 3rd Senatorial District. Mr. President and members, I move for its adoption.
Motion for the adoption of standing committee report number 22-53 is offered by the floor leader and has been seconded. Under discussion, the chair recognizes the chairman for the EAGI, Senator Francisco Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. President. If the appointee here, can we invite her to come in to the
Ms. Magovnia, can you please proceed on? Sarge, can you accompany the gentle lady to the chair? Proceed on, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, your committee on executive appointment and investigation is ready to present standing committee report number 22-53. And this is the executive appointment of Ms. Proserpina T. Magovnia to serve as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission representing the 3rd Senatorial District, Saipan. Mr. President, your committee on executive appointment and investigation to which was referred the appointment of Ms. Magovnia to serve as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission representing the 3rd Senatorial District beg to report as follows. After review and consideration of testimonies provided, your committee recommends the confirmation of Ms. Magovnia's appointment to serve as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission. Pursuant to Rule 8, Section 5 of the Official Rules of the Senate, it is the duty and purpose of your committee to report to the Senate for legislative action pertaining to the executive appointment of Ms. Proserpina T. Magovnia to serve for the Commonwealth Election Commission. Your committee examined all pertinent documents relating to the executive appointment of Ms. Magovnia's overall credentials to serve as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission. In summation of all written and oral testimony provided to the committee, there are no written testimonies in support of the appointee, 3 oral testimonies in support of the appointee, of which 1 hard copy of the testimonies stated were submitted on the day of the hearing, and no written or oral testimonies in opposition of the appointee. Additionally, your committee stated several recommendations, issues, and concerns to the appointee that are included in this report. And based on the overall assessment of Ms. Magovnia's credential, experiences, testimonies, goals for the Commonwealth Election Commission, and other relevant issues considered, your committee is convinced that Ms. Magovnia has the qualification and leadership skills necessary to serve as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission. The public hearing was conducted on September 28, 2021, here at the Senate Chamber, in the Honorable Sus P. Magnas Memorial Building, here in Capitol Hill, Saipan. During the hearing, certain recommendations, issues, and concerns were raised for the appointed to address and look into when confirmed as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission. Additionally, the appointee was accompanied by Ms. Kela Vito, Election Commission Secretary, to provide additional clarification on the matters addressed by the committee. In conclusion, all required documents in conformance with Rule 8, Section 5 of the Official Rules of the Senate has been submitted to your committee for review and consideration. And based on the submission of pertinent documents and testimonies, your committee concludes that the appointment of Ms. Proserpina Timagogna to serve as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission is in accordance with 1 CMC subsection 6102. Therefore, your committee consents to the confirmation of Ms. Josefina Timagogna to serve as a member of the Commonwealth Election Commission to represent the 3rd Senatorial District. Second. Again, I ask the full body of this Senate to support Standing Committee Report number 22-53. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Masi, Chairman Cruz, any other member would like to offer some comments before we call the roll? Recognize Senator Youngberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a few comments and maybe just some questions. I know that a while back I asked about data from the Election Commission, so I'm hopeful that you would look into the system with respect to the collection of data, demographics of voters, and things like that, so that we can have a better understanding of our voting population every year or every election year as we move forward. Additionally, I know that I do have a very a special interest in terms of our NMD registration, and the reason why I bring that up to your attention because I introduced an initiative with respect to the revenue that is transferred from the Marianas Public Land Trust to the general fund, and this particular initiative that I introduced is to benefit the NMDs. I believe to date, we do not have a clear data of the number of registrants, NMD registrants within our Commonwealth, so I would appreciate if you would look into that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Youngberg. Recognize Chairman Victor Hope.
Just a statement to, again, Mr. President, to congratulate you, Pina, for this undertaking after reconsidering your second approach to serve as the Election Commission. So I just want to ask you, are you excited for the added responsibility undertaking before you when we act on your nomination today?
Thank you, Senator. I'm always excited to learn, Senator.
That's good. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I just want to reassure my previous question when we had our hearing that the excitement of accepting this appointment this time is definitely serious, that Pina would like to help contribute her expertise with the Election Commission and the staff, and to provide the proper guidance for a transparent election process. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Pina.
Thank you, Chairman Hope. I too, before I call for the vote, I would like to commend you for taking up this very critical. Some may say that it's only good when during election time, but really you guys have a lot of things to do. Your office primarily, the leadership of the executive director, as with what we all experienced during the national election, the way the voting process is, it was something that, although we don't have to put it in the forefront, but keep it in the back of our minds, that I think they never master how to do absentee voting. In the CNMI master that, because there's always a lot of our constituents vote in that platform. But I will not belabor that discussion. I am certain that the committee had expressed their comments to you at the time, and you have a very knowledgeable executive director that's going to be able to guide you along the way and to make it more seamless and try to be as equitable as possible and fair during the undertaking of the election process. So with that, I recognize the clerk to please call the roll for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 22-53 and if you garner the majority of the vote, that essentially confirms your appointment. So with that, clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Cruz,
Yes.
Senator De Jong Guerrero,
Yes.
Senator Hoko,
Yes.
Senator King Neighbors,
Yes.
Senator Manglonia, Senator Kiruba, Senator Sablan,
Amen.
Senator Santos,
Yes.
Mr. President,
Good.
Mr. President, all 9 members voting yes.
With 9 members voting yes, standing committee report number 22-53 is hereby adopted. I would like to call for a brief recess. Congratulations, Ms. Pina. Thank you.
He's got 10,000.
Right there? That's the first, yeah. Are we, guess the bottom, are we done? Ito, guitar. Please, Robin. Leave. Yes, please. You guys are the, Still like? Chief? Right on. One, two, one more. Thank you. Yeah.
Good? All right.
Good.
Okay, all right. Congratulations again.
We're gonna sign the.
Okay, it's okay, yeah. We're live. Oh, no, live, your table.
Is that okay?
Everyone's live, कर रहा है? No, udah na.
Would we like that?
Yeah, it's also the copy. Close the agenda yesterday. You want to include it today's agenda?
And that is the only item before this body for today's session on standing committee report. There's no other subject item before us today, so if there's no objection from the members, can we move all the way to announcements?
No objections.
No objections. Just a couple of announcements. I would like to just notify the members that I just a few minutes ago, I formally received transmittal from the governor's office, the signed product of fiscal year 2022 budget for the government, the CNMI, Public Law 22-08, of which the staff will be giving you both electronic copy and a paper copy, hard copy of that. So we'll be taking that on officially on our next regular session, which will be called upon on October 7th here on the Chamber Sector. And also, lastly, before I want to recognize the question.
Yes, I would like to apologize, Mr. President. I just want to ask if there's no objection from the member, can we just adopt that resolution on today's session? The one I just introduced? If there's no objection.
I would like to call for a short recess. Huh? And requested by members, the chair would like to ask that we revert back to item K under a resolution or pre-filed bills, initiative local bills and resolution. And this time I would like to recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. And after the agreements of all the members, on the request of Senator Cruz, I hereby move to place Senate Resolution number 22-11 on today's resolution calendar for action.
As offered by the floor leader for the placement of Senate Resolution number 22-11, and it's been seconded. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion for the placement of Senate Resolution 22-11 on resolution calendar for today's action, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. At this time, I recognize the floor leader to offer a motion for the adoption of the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. And at this moment, I'd like to, there's one item on your old resolution calendar, and this is Senate Resolution number 22-11 to recognize and commend Command Sergeant Major Dolores Pangilinan Kiyoshi for her distinguishable years of patriotic service and sacrifice for our country as a member of the United States Army. Mr. President and members, I move for its adoption.
Second.
Offered by, there's a motion for adoption of Senate Resolution 22-11. As read out by, offered by the floor leader, has been seconded. Discussion. I recognize Chairman Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I mentioned earlier, I'd like to ask the clerk if there's no objection from the members, if this resolution can be introduced to the committee as a whole.
No objection.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Cruz. Ready?
Ready.
All those in favor or under discussion? No, we're still under discussion. So with that, all those in favor of the motion to adopt Senate Resolution 22-11, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Senate Resolution number 22-11 is hereby adopted. Again, and before we revert it back to resolution calendar, We are actually under item R, under announcements. And as I mentioned earlier, the October 7th session will commence here on Saipan, of which we will formally take on the product that the governor recently signed to continue the operations of the government for FY 2022. Additionally, I'm certain that you probably received an email from former Secretary Juan Novolta, Commonwealth Council Executive Director, inviting the members of the legislature and their staff, whoever has time, there is a waiving to recognize and to honor those community members, loved ones who have contracted or who have been a victim of breast cancer. As everyone knows, October is and will be proclaimed as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I just wanted to share that with the members. So please, if you have time today, please join the community. Thank you. With that, I recognize the floor leader for the appropriate motion to adjourn this session.
Thank you, Mr. President. And at this time, I'd like to officially offer a motion to adjourn today's Senate session, subject to the call of the President.
Motion for adjournment offered by the floor leader and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn this Senate session, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Senate session stands adjourned subject to the call. Thank you and good afternoon. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Aloha Friday.
Thank you, guys.
Huh?
No exercising and exercising.
Just for me and
Yeah. I remember it, I was researching the article way back in time. I remember this, I saw that, in the lower basement years ago. Somebody did that, this is the last one. Yeah, but it was like,
Pilotaje, me mandó 10.